Oh, right, there we are. Hello, welcome to Velocity Racing's V8 Supercars Championship. It's round number 9 here at Wanneroo Raceway, Barbagallo. This is the first qualifying session of the night. We'll talk about that in a moment. 3 minutes to go in it. Yes, it is actual night racing this time. We had kind of an evening setting last time.
Yep, saw that.
I need to turn Cameron down so he's not impeding on me too much, but this is actual night racing here at Perth, and it's what will hopefully happen later on in the year with the Perth Super Night. Short little track this one, 7 corners, 2.4 kilometres long, which means lap time's well under 50 seconds, well under 55 seconds even. We're watching Chris Refalo at the moment, who's the fastest on track. You can see bright orange numbers on his car, indicating he's the championship leader. Decided to add that because, well, it doesn't look like that's going to be changing anytime soon. He's got quite the lead in the championship up to this point. If I go and bring up my standings, yeah, he's 1,514 points back to Nicholas Gregg, which is 1,159 points. So, fairly substantial margin between those two. Good to have you with us tonight for this race. We've got 1:40 left in this session. And let's go have a look at what's going on around the field. Here's Jack Callister, who has just gone 2/10 down as soon as I switched to him. And that says plus 0.3 of a second, and then plus 0.2 of a second, which apparently is worse. So anyway, Rath is on a purple time, and he goes fourth to Jack Callister. Dietmar Rath had a purple sector 1, and the track ramps up in grip over the course of the session. We're bringing you qualifying live now. Used to be a Velocity Premium only thing. Nash Murdock goes up to 3rd. And these are really drama-filled sessions now, with the way that we've got the track grip ramping up as Rath stays second fastest. He's on a 55.5 with 43 seconds to go. Here's Chris Refalo, and you'll see a fast lap as we come into the Dust Bowl here at turn number 6. You have to wait so long to get on the power, and he over-applied it a bit there. Managed to slide coming out of the corner. Now down to the last one. And across the line, and he extends his lead at 54.366, the fastest time we've seen all weekend. Riley Smith just went 3rd, and that's the end of his session. Chris Viss remains stranded at turn 1 as the checkered flag falls on this first session. So we'll watch them as they come across the line. Ronald Williams, he is 13th fastest. Then next up is Matt Caldwell. I was going to say Viss, but Viss is down at turn 1. Caldwell does not go any faster. He sits in 12th. Not a great qualifying from him. Snooks in 19th. Across the line there. There goes Lee Childs.
Yeah,
doesn't advance any positions.
Turner, it's fine either way. It's overtime at the moment. You can toggle back if need be.
Anyone improves substantially. There goes Spivey. He stays 16th fastest. And a very cool track tonight, and it's going to be difficult to get your tyres up to temperature over a single lap. Here comes Mello, sporting a black livery as he did last weekend. And he is in 6th place. So Refalo, Rath, Smith, Callister, Murdock, Mello, Gregg, Turner, and then Dendork, which is Noah. He's actually got a last name now. Williams rounds out the top 10. Great result from Williams, I have to say. So that's the first qualifying session. We'll return in just a moment with the next one. Back at Wanneroo and ready to go for qualifying 2. This is another little thing that we do, which is everyone gets lined up at the end of the pit lane until there's 12 minutes to go in the session. So you can see this big group of cars. Cohen Turner leading the front of it, and then there's Josh Hill, Visaru, and you'll see them all file out as soon as that light goes green at the end of the pit lane. And that's about to happen.
Good to go.
And off we go. Ronald Williams hasn't moved. And everyone just drives through him because that's what you can do in the pit lane here. Turner, Hill, Viss, Caldwell, Child, Spivey, Callister, Murdock, Snooks, and Dundalk are the first cars out. Another thing to mention about Noah here is that he's sporting a livery now, which is this gorgeous one from 2017 Sandown that Red Bull had. Something's popped up in the Discord here that says Joshua Hill managed to, well, he got 4th place, which is a very good result as well. Jack Callister ended up 5th. The gap between them was no less than 0.002 of a second. I'm sorry, people pick up that earlier. And Nash Murdock qualified 6th, so some really great performances by long drivers out there. At the expense of Nicholas Gregg, who only ended up 8th. Matt Caldwell only ended up 12th. And the other thing to mention is that Jack Meredith isn't on the track in this session. Due to getting enough licence points to earn himself a qualifying ban. There is one other little detail to mention, is that for the first race at least, Gus Super has a 5-place grid penalty for an incident at Sydney Motorsport Park. There's Nash Murdock's car, and I was so looking forward to seeing it under lights. Here it is now. Look at that purple underglow on the car. That looks brilliant. We have to mandate that for everyone for the next night race. And this is where the car really shines in the complete dark. As he gets his way past Max Piker there. Some other livery mentions. Here's Gus Super, who's also got a purple underglow on his car. He's running a new Rockstar livery, which you'll see it better as we come into the Dust Bowl here with the lights. I think that's a great upgrade as usual, and we'll run that through the end of the season, except for Sandown. But at Sandown he plans to use a livery that's based off of an old Speedway car that he used to drive. Smith, Mello, Viss and Refalo are the top 4, although that's going to change very shortly. There you are, Refalo up to 1st position. And you're able to see the sector times and how everyone's improving. Riley Smith sets purple 1st sector as the track grips up. We bring up our weather down here. Yeah, track grip is now at 99%, so it's ramping up real quickly as more cars do laps. Refalo's going to go even faster, it seems. Here's Riley Smith, and we haven't talked about his new livery this weekend either, which is the Smoky Bacon Smith's livery. So he continues the revolving door. One race only, this one, as he pulls into the pit lane. See more, I'll get a couple of other things set up properly. That light is very bright as we come down the hill. We'll go on board with a quick lap with... Let's do Chris Vasari. How about that? And he's purple sector too, so... That's really the best time to go on board with him. Here he comes down, this is the last corner. Big curb there, and we've added track limits there now, so you can't run it over the curb. If you remember back to the last season, we had to watch very carefully to make sure people didn't run over that curb too often. So it runs a little bit in the dirt there as we come back down this incredibly steep hill. The Dust Bowl area is one of the few places where there is proper lighting as he pulls into the pit lane here. Oh, big slide on the way in, and he's got it sideways in the pit lane. Now you can't return to pits here, so we'll have to fix any damage he's sustained, which I don't imagine would be too much. And you can't just hit the return to pits button because you'll get penalised for that. Stops the car and gets ready for another run. Got Super, here we are. Now he hasn't got a grid penalty for this race. Did for the last one. Look at the way this thing glows. Oh, in the rear window as well. Go on board. That doesn't show up nearly as much on the onboard. As he cruised his way up the hill. Yeah, there's Ronald Williams going a little bit slowly. He'll have to get a move on. Because you don't want to be on the inside at that particular corner. Riley Smith jumps his way up into fourth as cars start coming out again. I imagine it'd take a bit of time for tyres to warm up here. The track temperature will degrade a bit over the race. Since the air temperature's getting lower as well. I should check the chat. Oh, Bringer of Blood, thank you very much for following that. Over on Twitch. If you are on Twitch, then make sure you give us a follow there. If you are on YouTube, then make sure you subscribe there. And get involved in the chat because I am going to be keeping a closer eye on it than I usually do, admittedly. I'll pop this out, put it off to the right here. I don't know. 2.5 minutes to go, and that's a car well off there. That'll be super. So it's going to be even more difficult to pick out the cars, I think, tonight. There's the Project 4 liveried Nicholas Gregg.
Righto, noted.
So he's in second at the moment. And coming down this straight. There's quite a few cars up ahead of him. One of them looks like Josh Hill. From this far back. Yeah, it is. And the other one is Chris Rosario. And they're kind of getting tangled up in one another. Oh no, hang on. No, it's Dendul, please. Who's behind? Behind them all, yep. And then Nicholas Grigg is the next car back from that. Chris Refalo comes around the last corner. He's gone purple sector 1. He's gone not quite purple. Oh, he has gone purple sector 2, and he sets fastest time of all, a 54.499. So a little bit of a slower session than last time. Remember, we got into the 3s last time. We are in Australia, the proud land down under. So, thank you for joining us all the way over in Germany. And this is what we do, the V8 Supercars. Nash Murdock up in the 4th position, and he's proved himself to be very decent tonight. Certainly improving more and more over time. Jack Callister up in the 5th. Murdock used to be well in the midfield, and now he's knocking on the door of the top end.
Yeah, mate, before it. Yeah.
The voice you can faintly hear in the background is our race director. Different race director tonight. Usual one isn't available, so Caleb Pearson is. You might recognise his name on the leaderboard in a few of our previous races. But yeah, he's stepped into the race director chair tonight, and I'm very glad of that. Lee Childs is disconnected from the server, unfortunately. The qualifying is now complete. Chris Refalo is going to come across the line. He's going to be the first to cross the line. Or the first, one of the first at the end of the session. Sorry, no. I'm trying to say that he was first, okay? So, he remains fastest of all. But not far behind is Nicholas Grigg. You can see 0.0... Okay, no, he's definitely far behind now. 0.8 of a second through that second sector. Who's next to come across the line? This is Craig Laws. Going to get himself off the bottom. Well, people are leaving too early and mucking up my leaderboard, so... Thanks, I guess. So we'll get the final standings then of that session. So where are we? Chris Refalo on top once more. He sweeps the pole positions, and he is just getting ridiculously good. Nicholas Grigg in second, and then it's Deep Marath, Jack Callister after that. Nash Murdock is in 5th, and then Riley Smith in 6th position. Yeah, where did Riley end up qualifying in the last race? 3rd. Well, that stuck in, didn't it? I didn't even really take much notice of that. Riley Smith was 3rd. Joshua Hill is down in 10th. A little bit of a worse qualifying session from him after getting 4th in the first one. It's funny how these things work sometimes. Good thing for him is that he's got more time. This sets the grid for the second race, which is 50 laps, in comparison to the first race, which is, I want to say 21. Cohen Turner 11th, just over the other side of the page. So
setting up the server in the grid, so you're good to go.
He's done very well for himself there. We're just waiting now for this server to tick down, and then we'll get ready for race number 1 this evening. And it's going to look gorgeous under lights, and we expect a little bit of carnage as well. It's a short run to the first corner, thankfully, so we might get away with it on the first lap, or in the first few corners at least. We'll have to wait and see. It'll be reduced visibility out there with the night sky. We'll return in a moment with race number 1. of the evening. Race 4:15 of the championship.
I did, mate. How good, how good.
Please pray for my poor computer as we go into this very difficult time. This is the start of race number 1 tonight.
You'll have to take that one off.
Chris Refalo is there on the front row. Rath is on the inside. I think it's the inside line, which is interesting for this first corner. While Refalo takes the clean side of the grid. Let's have a quick look at the standings before we get this underway. You can see the lead that Chris Refalo has got compared to everyone else. If you think you can stop Chris Refalo, then please come and join. If you want to join anyway, then Discord.
No, don't feel like it.
Discord.gg/something or other. It's in the description of the YouTube video, or you can go to VelocityRL.com and you'll see it there. So there's our championship standings. A few close things to note is Jack Meredith and Joshua Hill. 4 points separate those two. This is after the race just gone, as we get ready now for the start of night racing in Perth. We've got the lights on and away. Lots of cars sliding their way off of the line as Refalo looks to have the slight edge over his teammate. There's still Callister trying to gain control of the car as they come through turn 1 for the first time. It looks fairly clean actually, so drivers being a bit more sensible. Refalo leads them over the top for the first time. Being made further back, that's Murdock and Greg heading side to side, and now Nicholas Gregg is hung out to dry on the outside of the Dust Bowl, and he's dropping positions. Cohen Turner, who qualified 10th, brilliant job from him, and he's now looking up the inside of Nash. Murdock won't get the move done. Across the line for the first time, it's Chris Refalo who leads it. By how much? Well, we're about to find out. 0.6 of a second over his teammate. As these two run side by side, it's Murdock and Cohen Turner over the top of the hill, and they're going to weave their way up through turn 4 and 5. Long sweeping corners. Fairly high tire deck track, this one actually. And that's part of what made the racing so good at Eastern Creek 2 weeks ago. You should really go watch that if you haven't already after tonight's race. Watch Jack Callister for a moment. He's on the back of the Smoky Bacon Smith's car, housing Riley Smith, as he gets right on top of that curb. Can be a rough little thing, that one. Super's just trying to stay clean tonight. It looks like he has. 18th position for him. Doesn't seem to have gotten himself into much trouble. He's just behind Justin Oates, further back there. Very tight margins through the field. As I think this will be a battle to watch over this short 21 lap race. You can see Josh Hill, who started 30, dropped a couple of positions. That's Turner on the inside of Hill, and he nearly turned himself around. Ended up making contact with Nash Murdock. Hill, who was pushed a little bit wide, seems to have gained an advantage on the rest though. Refalo sets the fastest lap of the race, 55.4. So still a while off qualifying times. That's Visari looking on Murdock. And now Caldwell wants a piece of him. Trust Performance Technologies car, Ford Mustang. Little gathering of Ford Mustangs here, occupying 7th to 10th. There's actually 2 Nissans and 2 Holdens, then 2 more Holdens, and then 2 Fords and 2 more Fords. Been a fairly clean start tonight, and I am impressed, I'll have to say. It is great fun, Cool Boy, and I really enjoy seeing what goes on here. And there's a particular story I want to talk about, which is Cohen Turner. This is a man who was He was hopeless, okay. I'm sure he won't mind me saying. Fisari's gone off. That's down at turn number 4, and he drops out of the... it's a roundabout position 8, I think. So Murdock gains 1, so does Caldwell. And Duke isn't far back either. Gaps opening up at the front. This is Meredith and Childs going side by side coming down the hill. And there's a Caldwell off, that's Williams, and he's managed to... Oh, I hope he doesn't come back on. No, he's just going to skate down the hill. Meredith makes the move on Childs. Sorry I missed that, I should have switched away, but Williams is trying to get it going again, and he does. Cohen Turner is the man I was going to talk about. Yeah, he was hopeless, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. But he's really improved himself. He qualified within the top 10 for this first race, and he is currently sitting 7th, so brilliant job from him. Max Spivey is down in 20th, so something must have happened to him as well. So is Nicholas Gregg. Oh, that's odd. So I've massively missed a story, which is absolutely could be the case. A bit of trouble for Mello there. Sorry, Nicholas Gregg. Mello's actually doing alright. He's up in 5th with the number 4 entry. Redhead's car, Jack Callister, coming down this hill, and he makes a big lunge on Riley Smith, but he's really just running deep there. And he's not going to get any further. Now, not far up the road is Deep Marath, who has dropped 3.1 seconds to his teammate. You can see his teammate a little bit further in the distance there. Callister has to run wide and re-enters the circuit. Decides not to hit the curb. It's probably a smart move. It's just going to lose you even more time. He'll cop a cut warning for that, I imagine. I'll actually keep up on the screen so we know if someone has a penalty for anything. That was Goonan off the road. So there's a change position there because Goonan was off the road. That's again at that tricky turn 4. The big long sweeping turn that goes uphill as well. Left-hander at the end of the S's. And he's got Lee Childs right up behind him. 0.3 of a second separate those two. Oh, off the road is Lee Childs. He just spun the rears up and off the road. And he tries to get back on. Will he get it back on? Yeah, he gets back on pretty safely. I would say he's right out where Visario is, who also had an incident earlier. And there's Nicholas Gregg as well, fighting back there. Nicholas Gregg must be a lap down. I wonder if he had an engine drama or something. This is when I need a pit lane reporter to go and find out this stuff for me. If you'd like to be a pit lane reporter, then info@velocityrl.com. Set your application there. We'll go back up to the front now, and Refalo, well, while he leads Rath by 4.3 seconds, Rath has got a little bit more of a task on his hands. That being said, Smith has dropped off a little bit. He's now under pressure from Jack Callister. These are 2 ABR cars. We'll check the progress of Meredith, actually, the other ABR. Oh, the other. There's also Spivey, he's in 19th. Meredith is in 11th. And there's swapping of positions between Turner and Murdock. I've just picked up. So I think Murdock jumped ahead of Turner and then the positions swapped back. Anyway. Meredith sits in 11th. He was excluded from qualifying and will be for the next one as well. Depending on how much I agree with it or not. Now this is side by side between Callister and Smith, and Callister's going to get the move done. So I happened to look away for half a second there, admittedly. But Callister up into 3rd, he's in the podium position, so that's what we have the replay for, you see. So you can see them come down to the last corner. And does Smith run wide? Oh, Smith lets him through. Okay, I see now. So just a quiet move on the front straight. Nick Mello is now tacking onto the back of this battle at the same time. Murdock has gotten past Turner as well. That's back in the 7th position. Meredith dropping positions, and he's now in a little bit of a battle with Super and Goonan. Coming down the hill, we'll go on board with Super. Goonan backs out of it, and Meredith comes right across in front of him. It's very close between those two. Lucky they didn't make, well, I assume they didn't make contact. Now Super's got a chance on Goonan to go round the outside. Big dive. Goonan runs straight at the corner, and up his inside is Chris Vasaru, and at the same time there goes Nicholas Gregg trying to unlap himself, and Super runs it a little bit wide. He speedways around the turn, and now he's going to go around the outside of 2 cars. Goonan just on the inside, and they've made contact, and Super loses out. And he loses out another position as well to Oates, who's now on the back of Nicholas Gregg. Well, that'll be an interesting little one to go back and look at.
And the other drivers as well?
I think he's already on with the race director trying to get that one sorted, and there's Oates. And Childs now getting past him, 15th position. Super's going to fight back on the inside. They're going to be side by side all the way up the hill. There's Chris Vasaru off the road as well, so we'll have to watch out for him. He gets well out of the way. Well done. Now here's the interesting thing, is that Super's going to have the inside line for turn 5, and again at turn 6, and again at turn 7, and then turn 1 as well. Well, there's a lot that can happen between then and now. We'll see, does he run it deep in here? No, he doesn't. Pulls off the move perfectly up into P14 for him. Although he'll be very frustrated that he's lost quite a few positions out of that. Turn her off. Turn her off and into the gravel. I wonder if he's had a similar problem to what he had in qualifying. Now Nicholas Gregg looking around the outside. And Nick Goonan just slides up the inside and he's up into 11th. Although not quite because, well, Meredith's going to be hung out to dry here. Turner continues falling back through the pack, and I think he might have had a similar problem to what he had in qualifying when his engine managed to blow his engine out. 6 seconds the gap between Refalo and Rath at the front. I wonder how much traffic Chris Refalo has to deal with at the moment. Oh, he's actually in the middle of this. Is he? No, that's Greg. No, Williams and Spivey are he's next to, and he's got a pass, and that's coming down to the last corner. There goes Nicholas Gregg sliding up the inside. He's trying to get as much position as possible. He's in 20th at the moment. Now, I'm not sure if there's been a timing error. Maybe there has. He may well have gone off and missed a timing checkpoint, and in that case, that's where he is legitimately in 10th position. So I'm not going to do what I did with Mello a few weeks ago and berate him for getting involved in a battle as a blue flagged car, and then he wasn't a blue flagged car. He had just disconnected from the game momentarily and missed a timing checkpoint because of it. Meredith up into 10th, but Goonan will switch back on him and they're going to run side by side down the straight. Oh, very close between those two, and Goonan gets it done. See this big group of cars as we come up over the top here. Here goes Meredith, and he bumps Goonan, who I think made a mistake there, and he's going to drop back a few positions. Now up the inside is Super going for it again. He's going to get it to... Oh, he makes contact with Meredith, and Super loses out once more. Meredith actually continues on. Goonan's gained a couple of positions out of it. Feel the frustration brewing. It can also, all drivers have to have car radar or heli also enabled, but even with those it can be difficult to see other cars as well in the night. Because the track lighting around here isn't particularly bright, but it is. It's just it's not got full coverage around the entire track. Still enough light from your headlights or tail lights, and the sky is. You can see the sun directly off there. Now that's a bump again between Meredith and Super, and that's been going on for a bit. Just seem to run into each other a fair bit. This is all over 12th position. Well, actually, once Oates, who just quietly, Justin Oates, 10th position as we head on to the final lap of the race. And I've got to get my special final lap graphic up instead of this one. So, Justin Oates has really benefited from all of this bumping and barging. And while he's 15 seconds off the next car, it is Chris Refalo left the servo. Chris Refalo's DNF'd on the last lap of the race. Chris Refalo is disconnected on the last lap of the race And it's going to be Deep Marath against all the odds. Who's going to win it here? This is Super and Meredith coming down to the last corner. And he's got it, has he? Meredith. Not quite. Super's going to have another look once more up the inside. And now, through the middle is Chris Visaru, who... Oh no! They've come together and Visaru off the road and he's leaped over the curb, but still managed to hold on. Deep Marath has won the race after all of that. Jack Callister in second, Riley Smith in third, and Chris Refalo has been stopped by... Oh, a computer issue, I imagine. This race will be very quick to finish because it's such a short lap. Coming down to the last corner, it's going to be Visaru who is the victor in this battle. Oates finishes 9th after all that. Deep Marath, Jack Callister, and then Riley Smith. Deep Marath, that's his first race win in quite a while, I think. Can't remember the last time he won. If he has it all in V8 Supercars, but it's at the expense of his teammate who DNF'd on the last lap of the race. Could be easy, really. Josh Hill, good result from him in 5th, and Murdock as well in 6th. Caldwell 7th. Then Noah Dundalk in 8th. Brilliant job from him. Justin Oates in 9th. I mean, that's what happens when you manage to keep your nose clean the entire time and just drive consistently, and full credit to him for that. 9th position for him. Nick Goonan snags a top 10.
Yeah, man, I saw it all. It's all noted down, don't worry.
Vasari 11th. So, when did Cohen Turner DNF this race as well? So quite a bit going on in that last little bit. There's your final... Well, go to the final finishing margins before this game beats me out. I want caps. Or not. Okay, we'll not do that then. There's your progress up and down the field. Meredith up 13 places. The big victor. Nicholas Gregg down 11th. And my Google Home has gone off. And Justin Oates up 8 as well. Big shout out to him. Matt Caldwell drove a pretty good race in 5th after poor qualifying. And Gus Super up 6 positions, even with all the bumping and rubbing that went on there. So he's back up to about where he qualified. Right, Snooks also 14th. I mean, where has that come from? Very well done from him. Up 4 positions. Max Spivey 15th, exactly where he qualified. Ronald Williams. Chris Refalo is actually classified 17th. He completed 90% of the race. He will be classified, even though he didn't cross the line. And that's the end of that one. So that is race 1 of the evening in the books, and we will get ready now and reset for race number 2. It's the longer one. It should be an exciting one. Back in a moment. Why does that music keep playing every single time I switch back to this scene? Anyway, we are ready to go for the second race tonight. If you if you missed the first race, then well, if you don't want to spoil it, then cover your ears right now. But Dean Murdock won the race after Chris Refalo, his game crashed on the final lap of the race. Nicholas Gregg used the wrong pit lane. I imagine the one on the right here. So I'm not quite sure how he's managed that. So he might have missed the timing line, and hence, as I prophesised earlier, he was actually not a lap down as before. So he ended up about 13th or so, and we'll have to sort out everything and make sure that he gets his rightful place back. 50 seconds to go before this one. Race 16 of the championship. Excuse me. And on the pole is, well, it's meant to be Chris Refalo, but he is not here. Oh, there he is. Right on cue. So hopefully, for his sake, he's got all these issues sorted. Nicholas Gregg is in second. So a bit better luck in that qualifying session for him. And we are just about ready to get underway for the 120k race. The Oates fan club is in the chat. They're a little bit late. You just missed your boy getting 9th in the last race. But anyway, we're underway. And it's Nicholas Gregg, who I thought he might have had the better start, but he managed to cock it up and got all the wheel spin through first corner. Three wide through the field, and there's Justin Oates running very wide indeed as we come over the top. Down into the Dust Bowl for the first time. There's a bit of battling going on with Mello, who had a fairly quiet race one. Caldwell is the car behind. This is over 8th position. And they were side by side for a moment through turn number 6. Refalo leads them across the line. Normal service has resumed, it seems. And he's already pulled a second. Caldwell and Hill going for a dive on Caldwell, and Cohen Turner's just there in case anything goes wrong, which it has a little bit. He gives Hill a little bit of a touch, which has ruined his momentum coming out of that corner, and so Hill drops a position down to 10th for him as Rath overtakes Gregg further up the front. And Nicholas Gregg is going to switch back on him and come back up the inside. Oh, not quite. They almost touched there. Nicholas Gregg loses second position. Unless he can have another go down into this last corner. It's a popular overtaking spot. No, too far back. Runs it out very all over the curve there. He's found himself vulnerable to Jack Callister, who's down the inside now. Through the first corner, big long corner. And Riley Smith is also there, so he's just bleeding positions at this point, is Nicholas Gregg. And manages to wheel spin with Nash Murdock right in his tail, who may be on for a go at turn number 6. We're on board with him now for, well, it says in video racing, it's meant to be Team Limitless 1. He has a couple of goes at turning in and has to make way for Christopher Visari, who's coming through instead. Now Visari looking down the inside of Nicholas Gregg. Is he going to... he's not going to get there. Murdock gets forced to the outside to the curb. It's going to ruin his run a little bit onto this short straight with Mello now looking for another position up into 7th for him. Follows Vasari through, and Murdock not having a great few first laps. Is Meredith still a dirty racer? Well, he managed to pick up 10 licence points last weekend and had to serve out a qualifying ban for this round. And Setter isn't here at the moment, so Setter hasn't been showing up for the last few. There's Meredith, 14th position. He's looking around the outside of Noah Dundalk. And this is over 13th position. And he goes around the outside. There's a bit of touching between those two. And who's going to take advantage but Gus Super? Oh, no, he's not. Looked like he was going to get up the inside there, but ended up in the grass. And was now volatile to Lee Childs. Or vulnerable to Lee Childs, I should say. We'll go back up near the front where Mello and Vasari continue to battle this out. This has been going on for quite a bit. And he goes for a dive down the inside at the final corner. And he's got it. Almost. Mello switches back on him. Now it's just who can break the latest into turn 1. Vasari manages to bowl it very wide, having to make space for Nick Mello on the inside. Oh, hold on to it. He managed to hold on to it. Has lost a fair bit of time and now has got Matt Caldwell around his outside. I think he might. Oh, he did just before. Cohen Turner's also there. He's 3 Ford Mustangs in a row. And just behind them is Joshua Hill. He had a great race one, but has fallen off a little bit in this second one. Turner down the inside of Caldwell, and he's going to get it. He is. Who runs very wide there? That's Chris Vasari. And Turner and Caldwell are side by side with Josh Hill looking around the outside as well. He's squeezed out all the way to the edge of the track and won't be able to make any further progress. Not for a few corners yet. It's a very intriguing battle between these four. Spivey dropped a few positions there. I wonder if he's made a little error. Snooks and Oates now battling there. And Oates is diving up the inside. Here you are. That's Vasari, who's sliding out of control, and he manages to pick it up. Who doesn't? Cohen Turner. He is well off and he is out of the race. I'll just write Shaw to his message that he sent me earlier about joining in the commentary box. So he might join us for a little bit in a moment. This is Vasari and Meredith. And for 9th position, this is squeezed all the way out by Meredith. all fine, all clean, and he manages to get up the inside. Right, red lights for Jack Meredith, which are now facing towards the infield because he's spun off. Dropped a position, dropped 2 positions, dropped 3 positions. Now behind Gus Super, 13th position, but he's going to look around the outside. I didn't realise those logos glow as well. That is gorgeous. Nash Murdock, you lighting genius, honestly. He was made for night races. Oh, down the inside, he's giving him a bump and round goes Super. So, they've had a few comings together, those two. And Lee Childs also round at the end of that. So I wonder if he was spooked by the rejoin.
Stock on track, so you return to pits now.
This is an interesting battle between Goonan, Snooks and Oates. I have to credit Ryan here for he's driving quite a bit higher than where he usually is, up in 16th at the moment, and a little bit wide is Goonan. He's side by side. Just doing that. He's got a big foot cam in his stream, which I might try and set up afterwards. I forgot about those. And Gus Super just slides past him. That's for 17th position. Now let's go further to the front, because this is Nash Murdock looking on Nick Mello. 6th position in the race. 7/10 separate Callister and Smith. That's up in 3rd. So we could be on for a battle there very shortly. Right now we're going to keep an eye on these two, number 4 and number 00. How do you turn them on? The lights, I think by default the lights button is L. But if you've got a headlights button, then you click that, and if you don't, then that's a shame. Let's head a little bit further up the front, just momentarily. This is, well, first off, this is Chris Refalo coming down the hill now. There's the gap back to Deep Morath, and there is Callister and Smith as they come through 2, 3, 4. At position 3, 4. My brain is slightly fried. A bit closer this time round is Riley Smith, and we know this track is high dig and it takes a lot of skill to keep the tyres in check properly around the circuit. Is that a... no, that's rough. That's the second place car in front. The race winner from last time out. So Refalo picks up no points. Lucky for him, he DNF'd on one of the lowest point scoring rounds, as opposed to something like the Townsville race. Or we've got Gold Coast coming up, our next race, which will be a lot of fun. Those are big 200-kilometre races that pay 225 points. we'll go back a little bit further. Here's Ronald Williams and Oates and Super. Cars number 28, 35 and 76, and 2 seconds back is Ryan Snooks, just staying in touch with them. Childs hasn't had a good race at all, and he's really been struggling, he says, with finding grip around this track, especially as we get later into the night and temperatures start falling. What's the overnight temperature in Perth right now? 14 degrees, so it'll be something similar on this server here. And cars kind of just finding their own place, it seems. Gus Super is making headway on the Mercedes-inspired Holden Commodore up ahead. I think this livery, this Cool Drive livery, it was for, the Patronus livery for Tim Blanchard, I want to say, was originally brought in for the Perth round, so fits well this weekend. Child's up past Snooks. Snooks must have made a mistake, because Child still remains 9 seconds back on the next car, who is the one we are on board with right now, Gus Super. There's a couple of cars battling a little bit closer up front, which we'll also keep one eye on, which is Murdock and Mello. This is for 6th position. Oh, big slide. Coming out of that corner for Murdock, as I said, really low grip at the moment. And it doesn't help that this is generally a pretty low grip circuit as it is. This is pre-repave, and there goes Mello right off the road at turn number 5, and now he's having to defend from Nash Murdock and the Ford Mustang nipping at his heels, and he gets up the inside, side by side, down the back straight, all the way down this hill to the final corner at turn 7. And they're very close to touching. That was very close to Murdock being in the wall on the left-hand side there. But he gets across and continues on to Nash Murdock in 6th position. What's the gap to the next car? We're about to find out. Oh, well, hang on. Well, Mello's up the inside. And he hasn't got it. So that was turn 1. Eventually squeezed out. So 6.8 seconds. 7.1 seconds, according to this. I tell you who's 7.2 seconds out in front. That's Chris Refalo, who's once more dominating tonight's race. There's decent battles elsewhere. Now, Super Oates. This is a battle we've been keeping one eye on for quite a while now. And Oates drives off the track. I think he locked the rear slightly coming into turn number 6. And is now vulnerable to Gus Super, who slides up the inside. Fairly simple move. It's not exactly done yet. Riley Smith and Jack Callister have swapped positions. We'll keep an eye on what goes on there.
Right, we'll write it down. Time to know. Probably have to issue.
Oates runs off the road. And he concedes that position. Cars starting to pit. There's Matt Caldwell and 16th. Jack Meredith, well, I thought he had pitted. Interesting. No, he started from the back, didn't he? Of course. Smith and Callister, we might have to check if that's a one of those planned moves again. If it was a legitimate overtake. The colours just dropped off quite a bit. Could well be a mistake. Hope you enjoyed me drinking water. That smoky bacon livery. It is gorgeous, and we will see a new livery next round from him, as we so often do. And I will find out which one it is in a moment. In the meantime, time to do some plugs. Velocity Racing Leagues. Now, it says we've still got sign-ups open for many series. One series. We've got many places for them. There we are, that's what I mean. We've got many places for one series. The V8 Supercars Championship. So get on board if you want to join in on that. We're at the Gold Coast in 2 weeks' time for a 200-kilometre race. And of course Bathurst 1000, which is in October.
That one should definitely be an interesting one, Zav. I must say good evening.
Well, just slide on in here, why don't you, Cohen Turner? Good to see you. Well, I say good to see you. It's not really that great because you're out of the race. How come?
Yeah, I'm just a bit poor on my throttle control and shifting.
It's happened again, has it?
Happens again. Happened to Sydney in this race, but yeah, it sucks. I mean, I guess we can have another go with it at Gold Coast, but time being, it's just embrace the moment, I guess. It's disappointing, but yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, I hope you get that all sorted.
Yeah, we'll sure try. Nonetheless, there's still some good racing going on here today, for sure.
Certainly is, yeah. I was going to be busy updating that Riley Smith, round 10, has got a, I don't even know what that is. Green and gold, something or other livery for next round. I can't read that. Should probably focus on the racing instead.
We're seeing here Gus Super coming on the Ronald Williams. Looks like he was making a move there, but no. Looks like we've seen Williams going for the, what's that called again?
That's the Dust Bowl at turn 6.
Yeah, that's right.
He
Going for a
dips
move
down.
there. Still staying right behind him, maybe. Just steadily keeping behind him, maybe we'll go for a move later on. It looks like he loses a bit of time there.
In the meantime, Murdock has pitted
Haley.
and gotten himself out of the battle with Nick Mello. Oh, who's that slow car?
Gus Super coming around the outside of turn 1. Can he make the move? No, he can't just yet. Looks like Meredith's joining the battlefield right there with them 3.
It's a very intriguing battle between these 3, Williams, Super and Meredith. 3 very different positions in the championship, but still sharing the same piece of road. Meredith is now once more looking on Super. These 2 have not had a good history the last couple of races, but he's going to have another move down the inside and try and make it stick this time, which it looks like he has. And is now going to get to work on Ronald Williams just ahead. Max Spivey up in 11th at the moment, your Spivey watch. Another thing to take notice of is just a 0.6 of a second gap between 3rd and 4th, Smith and Callister. Now they swapped places before, whether or not it was intentional I'm not sure. Callister's just hanging there. There's Meredith up the inside of Williams, and he gets it done, just about. Yep. Manages to clear him, although Williams might have another look down into this last corner. Doesn't come to anything. Makes him a little bit vulnerable to Gus Super behind. Rolls through the corner, 13th position for Gus Super now. The inside of Ronald Williams. And Justin Oates, Matt Caldwell and Justin Oates in 15th and 16th. Refalo is in the pit lane, which promotes Rath up into first place. Not the first time I've seen that today. And that's unfortunate, isn't it? Game crash on the last lap.
Yeah, that would have really sucked there for Chris Refalo, championship leader, just to miss out on the last lap due to a game crash there. Very unfortunate.
It's a fair lead. He's got, what? About 400 points once Nicholas Gregg picks up his from that race. So yeah, fair gap, but
Not losing much.
but bit of a buffer. He pitted very early here, and we'll see where he is at the moment. He has got fairly clear track in front of him. I think... Is that Nicholas Gregg 4 position up ahead? Might well be. Yeah, it is. So... Well, not net position once Gregg pits, but... nonetheless. I've done this entire thing without having my special graphic in the corner. There you go. The timing tower is now actually complete. Craig Laws has picked up a drive-through penalty. That's unfortunate. So he'll have to cruise through the pit lane, and Rath also pits, so we'll have to keep an eye on where he pops out in comparison to his teammate. Oh, he's already gone. Refalo already well through the first corner, and now they're dealing with traffic. Spivey gets out of the way. He gets out of the way fairly promptly. And Rath is side by side with Joshua Hill in 6th position. What's the gap between them? About 8 seconds or 9 seconds. So it's expanded out a little bit. And Refalo past Nicholas Gregg. Though Nicholas Gregg has already dropped 1.2 seconds, so it's either a mistake or he's just let him pass out of courtesy. He does pit though. So does Smith and Callister ahead of him. There's Craig Laws taking his drive-through penalty at the same time. And flying into the pit lane is Nicholas Gregg. Drives through. Up in front. First out is Riley Smith by a long way to Jack Callister. Or actually, it's not that far in the grand scheme of things.
Nicholas Gregg just coming out behind them.
Oh, Callister's going to want to be in front of Ryan Snooks here. He's going to be side by side. Oh, it's cut off.
Leave Child in the wall. Leave Child's in the wall there.
Childs.
Looks like he's still driving it, the car, well. I don't know. Just saw that one in the corner of our eye there.
He spotted it better than... spotted who it was better than I did. Seems to be okay in terms of at least suspension damage.
We will look into that.
Race director's going to be looking into something there. Murdock and Gregg now battling. I believe this is 4 position. Actually, is it? Yeah, it should be. Murdock's definitely...
Don't. Has he pitted? Oh wow.
Just wasn't sure about Nick, but Well, I think they both have, actually. So, this is for position, 5th and 6th. As we see another couple of cars going at it at the final corner in the background. I think that might be Oates and Dendulk. Super is into the pits and out of that. And Murdock has the position over Greg, and off the road there is Craig Laws. Just widen the dust bowl there. Child's now making a move on Goonan, who is a lap behind to everyone. What? Okay, so there may be some timing dramas with this track, which always seem to get uncovered during a race, even though we use this track, what, 4 times? 2 ATCC races as well? Anyway. This on board with Visar. Actually, let's go Spivey instead, because he is 3/10 behind Super and trying to look for a move. We haven't seen much from him recently, actually. So what happens? Gets himself into a battle. And he's well up the inside. Super run it a bit wide there, and they're side by side coming up the hill and into turn 4 now. Oh, Spivey trying to hold it all the way around the outside and make sure he's just there for a little flick back.
Super just not letting Spivey go there. Came to position.
Oh, sliding all the way in was Gus Super. And he is now a bit vulnerable to Max Spivey. There he is, up the inside. Damn, I hope we get fireworks at the end of this race.
That's definitely a cool addition recently, for sure. Especially in the night here at Perth.
Look at the big red lights down the other end of the track. That's Jack Meredith, who's in 8th position at the moment. After being excluded from qualifying, he has worked his way up like he did in race 1, and is still going to get a decent amount of points.
Yeah, very well done by Jack Meredith there, starting right from the back of the grid up to 8th position. We'll just say he's done a little bit of a Nick Percat there from the bend. Haha. Yeah, very well.
Now, it might well be on between Murdock and Greg once more. Yeah, this is down the back straight away now. They got very close to one another coming through turn 6. And gap's opened out a little bit more since then. Laps 35 of 50. It's been a while since I've announced the laps and the track order, so it's Refalo, Rath, Smith, Callister, Murdock, Greg, Mello, Meredith, Visaru and Hill. That's your top 10. Caldwell and Noah Dendulk in 12th, as we see Greg and Murdock run side by side down the main... Oh, hang on, Murdock's in the pits again.
Yeah, I did hear that Murdock was going to go for a 2-stopper pit stop strategy. Maybe he can push a little bit more on those tyres, seeing he's got a bit more time on the fresh ones instead of having to conserve the tyres a little bit for just using a 1-stopper there. So that looks like the plan.
Refalo definitely hasn't stopped 2 times, so that graph's partly wrong for that data there. And same with that one. always manage to stuff up those. So,
Yeah, I've had a few issues with this one sometimes as well.
Josh Hill, VF Commodore. This is one of 2 VF Commodores on track at the moment. He's up against the Ford Mustang of Chris Rosario. It's for 8th position. And still gets you a decent amount of points. Now look at what's going on just up ahead. This is Childs, and he serves up Snooks a little bit and runs him out. Oh, he runs him out all the way wide. And Goonan slips up the inside of both of them and supposedly gets his lap back. He may actually be battling for position. How are we to know? And now Josh Hill is getting up the inside and he wants to be let past. And so does Chris Rosario. You watch him as he tries to get past Ryan Snooks here. Goes for the big dive and Snooks is, he gives him space. A good heads up driving from him. And they're able to resume their battle, those two, as Childs runs up the inside of Snooks and takes 17th position. While Visaru and Hill also battle up the hill. Grabbed a lot of curb there. Won't be able to run around the outside there.
Hill on the hill.
Just has to focus on the exit. Through, out of turn 6 and down into the hard braking zone. Right hand to turn 7. Oh, that's not going to be very good. He has 2 cracks at it, trying to get the car back going on the power. And we'll lose that a bit of time. Cars are very loose at the moment. It's making for some exciting viewing, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely been some interesting battle packs here at Perth as well, just like Sydney. Pretty good racing. Definitely.
I would like to switch to that car, thank you. So Meredith and Den dual car side by side. There's that Red Bull liveried car that Noah has now gotten his hands on, number 54. Up and over the top of the hill. Very dark now here in Perth. Side to side, those two, as they come down the... Yeah, it's kind of a back straight. It's more of a side straight, but Meredith is up the inside and into 10th position. Good move from him there. A little further up ahead, the Visaru and Hill battle continues. 0.3 of a second separate those two. A lot of bumps down into that last corner, and you can see that big menacing curve on the outside, which can just pick your car up and throw it. And this car's been thrown about a bit by curbs, particularly up here at turn number 3, a little further up. That one, he just flew across it earlier. In race 1. We're on lap 41. This race has gone past fairly quickly, actually. Sarah and Hill side by side. Across the line, it's going to be Hill who is in front, classified 7th position for the 41st lap, or for the 40th lap. Now a bit of a block going on there, trying to hold his position. All well and good, of course. Gap's eking out quite a fair bit at the front with a 14-second gap between Refalo and Raf, who dominant, only word to describe it. He's going to tab, well, if it wasn't for his disconnect, he'd be taking, I think, I don't even want to guess how many races on the trot. Fair number. What I can confirm to you now is that with that DNF, this is now going to be 1 on the trot. Assuming all goes well. Let's see what happens. Things can still fall apart very late in this one. 8 seconds between Smith and Callister. We'll go up with the leader and just have a look at his progress. See who's got up next. No one. No one ahead of him.
Would that be the final times there? 15-second gap to first?
What do you mean?
So like how they all finish, right in second, but I was just going to say, Falo's dominating the opposition here. 15-second gap to his teammate. Crushing it.
Murdock is the next one up ahead. Oh wow, he had a big moment there.
Oh yeah, he gets a little taily.
Could well have been in the fence. He's got worked out quite a buffer though. Now this is Josh Hill trying to get around, who is it, Nick Goonan, who's a supposedly, no, he's definitely a lapped car, for this battle at least. Blue flags are a big thing around this track, and only 2.4 kilometres long. It's not quite Simmons Plains because the lap speed is a little bit...
We had an issue with climbing tower. Goonan is technically on the blue flags.
Yeah, Goonan timing problem. So, just our race director confirming there.
No, Snooks, you're a lap down, dude.
Oh, Super and Williams have got tangled in one another at the last corner, and they meet again, and there's cars coming, and they got to be careful. I think that was Nick Mello coming through, was it? Yes, it was. Now here comes Hill and Murdock down to the scene of the incident. Road is cleared for them. So Super and Williams came together at that last corner and caused the incident, and then trying to get going again. Here's an interesting battle going on. It's all starting to fire up again with Caldwell on. Williams has made another mistake and he's dropped 2 positions all of a sudden. Here comes Caldwell down the inside of Max Spivey for 12th, and he has got it. 12th position for the Ford Mustang, who's not had a great weekend. In all honesty. His teammates up in 9th, faring a little bit better. But still, there's been some stiff competition, especially from Joshua Hill and Nash Murdock. was a big slide there from Joshua Hill, and it was just something we've seen quite a lot. Especially coming
Nash
out of
Murdock
that corner.
going around the outside at the dust bowl there. Just trying to stick to it. Still side by side a little bit. Looks like Josh just gets through there. A little bit taily on the exit there. Side by side down the back straight.
Last corner, it's where so many moves have been done this race, and Murdock's not able to pull it off. But he's going to be in the slipstream. There's a lapped car on the right hand side. He gets well out of the way. And
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one here. Only 4 laps to go. Still some very, very tight battles going on. Especially here.
Gee, those laps have been counting along fairly quickly. I've lost track of time. 48 out of 50, and it's Refalo who leads by 17 seconds. 6.8 seconds separate Rath and Smith, and that's Callister, Greg, Mello, Hill, Murdock, Visari, and Meredith. Dendulk in 11th. Caldwell, Spivey, Super, Oates, Williams, Child, Snooks, not Goonan, because he's meant to be a bit further up the field. He's meant to be up ahead of this. Is he? Maybe. That may well be 2 laps. Murdock, and he's not quite able to get the move done. And now they're side by side once more with just 2 laps to go now. Chris Refalo is coming through... Oh, actually, he's behind these 2. So he'll have 3 laps to go to get this move done with Josh Hill. Now Nash Murdock bowls it a little bit wide. Both squirming to get on the throttle. So, across the line. Now there's 2 laps to go. It's for 7th position. Last lap of the race, and it's Refalo who leads. He's through turn 1. Behind him is Meredith, who is a lap behind. So he's lapped everyone up to 10th position. And there's all your gaps there, so I think Goonan should be 1 lap ahead, so he's having a battle with Vis, but probably shouldn't be. Murdock pulling away from Hill quite a bit here, and we'll go and have a look at our race leader, who's about to become our race winner, pending all things going well. And he's across the line, and you couldn't say it until the very end. But he has won the final race of the night in Perth.
A little bit of contact there at the end. Excellent work by Chris Refalo. Dominated the opposition today. Great job for him.
Do we get fireworks? Where are our fireworks? No, they're not here. Why are there no fireworks?
Got to have some joy burnouts. The 2 HKS racing vehicles, first and second, I meant. Another 1-2 for the HKS boys here.
I'm waiting to see Nash Murdock's burnouts, because they'll probably be with ridiculous like purple smoke and whatever.
Yeah, I just told Nash to go do some burnouts. Apparently he's about to go do that.
Chris Refalo then wins that race. Rath, Smith, Callister, Greg, Mello, Murdock, Hill, Visaru, and Meredith are the top 10. The safety car's been deployed on the last lap because apparently Caleb just really wanted to press that button. Dendulk and Caldwell, Spivey, Oates, and Super. And I'm trying to figure out where Nick Goonan should be in all of that. I would say about 14th or so, give or take. Another decent result from Justin Oates, actually. He's certainly improving. or he's improved. He's getting better at staying clean and consistent. There it is.
Nash with the purple smoke there. Gotta love him and his configs for all his skins. Purple smoke there. Excellent work. Getting in the top 10 again there for Nash Murdock.
He'd be the biggest campaigner for a VRL summer nights, I'm
Good
sure.
race, everyone. Didn't seem like it was
Stayed
too
there.
best out there. Good job.
Well, I think our first V8 Supercar night race has been quite a success and doesn't look good under lights.
No safety cars as well. Good job there.
No safety cars. That's the first time in the season that we've gone around without safety cars.
Not sure. You'll have to talk to John about that. I'm not the first person to notice that issue. So
Yeah, very very slow corner coming in Perth here. Turn 1 at the start of the race. So yeah, good to see. There's no safety cars. Looks like it's a pretty clean going race. The whole duration for sure.
Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Cohen, for joining me this last little bit.
No worries, Av. My pleasure.
Thank you to everyone for watching tonight. We will be back in 2 weeks at Gold Coast. Yes, it's always a great race there. It's always a bit chaotic, and it's just fun. So make sure you tune in for that one 2 weeks' time. It's a 200-kilometre race. Fuel strategy will play a big part. It'll be a lot of fun, I'm sure. Make sure if you want to join in on this, then you head on over to our Discord server. Go to velocityrl.com and you'll find where to sign up there. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter, and we've got a Facebook page as well. You want to like that. We should hopefully be posting more stuff on that in the coming weeks. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and see you in 2 weeks on the Gold Coast. Congratulations to our race winners tonight, Deep Morass, Chris Refalo. Goodbye.